Hello and welcome to Isaan Flicks. Today I am out and about on my motor scooter in Ubon Ratchathani Province, Thailand, in the region known as Isaan. So as always, I shall ask you to sit back, relax, take a few minutes to ride with me, and I shall give you some facts and snippets of history about Ubon Ratchathani. Ubon Ratchathani is one of the 4 major cities of Isaan, also known as the Big 4 of Isaan. The city is on the Mun River in the southeast of Isaan and is located approximately about 650 kilometers from Bangkok. It is known as Ubon for short. The name means Royal Lotus City. Ubon City is also the administrative centre for Ubon Ratchathani Province. Ubon Ratchathani, or simply Ubon, is a province located at the boundary area in the northeast of Thailand, or Siam as it was called in the past, which is the former name for the Kingdom of Thailand. The province is close to the Mekong River and its 2 neighbouring countries, Laos and Cambodia. The city has been set in the centre on the northern bank of the Mun River since the late 18th century, when it was settled by Laotian people who moved from Vientiane to what is now Nong Bu Lamphun province, and then on to Kampansak, which is now a province in southwestern Laos, and finally to the area where Ubon City is located today. The official establishment of Ubon Ratchathani took place in 1792 in the reign of King Rama I. The city was originally heavily influenced by the culture of the Laotian people who settled in the city. However, today the current Ubon City's features have changed due to many diverse factors from both inside and outside its boundary, often from national and international causes. The colonisation from Western countries to Southeast Asia affected Siam's evolution during the reign of King Chulalongkorn, King Rama V. The competitive drive over sovereignty on the border areas of Siam, with the British on the west side and the French on the east side, forced Siam into the Franco-Siamese crisis in 1892. In the same time period, King Chulalongkorn resolved to improve the country, not only in Bangkok, but also in many cities located far from the capital city, including Ubon. At first, King Rama V sent some noblemen from Bangkok to control Ubon, but they were unable to make executive decisions on every situation. The king then sent his 2 younger brothers, 2 princes, to reform the administration and develop the area. They were given full authority to govern in the name of the king. Those changes affected the urban development, infrastructure and society that define Ubon today. The Ubon Ratchathani urban landscape transformation happened in the period of French colonisation of the area known as Indochina. The demand for resources at that time brought about both negotiation and war between France and Siam, including the Pak Nam War in 1893. It is said the Pak Nam incident was a military engagement fought during the Franco-Siamese War in July 1893. While sailing off Pak Nam on Siam's Chao Phraya River, 3 French ships violated Siamese territory and the Siamese fought, and a force of gunboats fired warning shots. In the ensuing battle, French won and blockaded Bangkok, which ended the war. Pak Nam is in today's Snippets Province in the Bangkok metropolitan region of central Thailand. That situation forced Siam to accept French sovereignty on the land where the Kingdom of Laos are found today. Even though the goal of the Franco-Siamese treaties was about control of the land on the left bank of the Mekong River, they also affected the opposite side, which was the boundary of the Kingdom of Siam. Thus, subsequent changes to the Ubon Ratchathani urban landscape were related to these Franco-Siamese treaties. A treaty, of course, is a contract in writing between 2 countries. Some treaties are imbalanced because the military situation at that time and the relative power of each country might force one party to accept disagreeable terms. It is always difficult to change or amend a treaty after it has been signed. Therefore, the effects that follow on often create unexpected results, both positive and negative. The Franco-Siamese treaties since 1893 had affected many cities in the Kingdom of Siam in both direct and indirect ways. There were a number of Franco-Siamese treaties, in fact. The first was signed on the 3rd of October 1893. King Chulalongkorn accepted the treaty because of the effects of the Pak Nam War. This first agreement was so unfair for Siam that its government asked for a revision. Consequently, there was another treaty in 1904. Even though Ubon Ratchathani was not a focus area of the Franco-Siamese treaties, there were indirect effects on the urban landscape in many ways. Historical evidence shows that there were both tangible and intangible changes to the original urban features of Ubon resulting from the Franco-Siamese treaties. The main purpose of the Franco-Siamese treaties was related to the control of the left bank of the Mekong River in Laos. Accordingly, the third proposal for the Franco-Siamese Treaty in 1893 prohibited Siam from having any military camps in Battenberg, Siem Reap and provinces in the territory within 25 kilometres on the right bank of the Mekong River. This affected Ubon, which is an important city near the 25 kilometre zone. Ubon had become a tactically important military area for protecting the country's sovereignty. Consequently, a military camp was set up in a field area outside of the city to the north. Then the camp moved to an established army military camp in Warin Chamrap, a district on the south side of the Mun River. In 1922, the Royal Thai Air Force established an airmail run to Ubon, and the airport was used during the Franco-Thai War and the Greater East Asia War. Then it was established as the Air Force military camp officially in 1962. As I said, Ubon had become a strategic military area with military camps and institutes in Ubon City and in the Warin Chamrap district. The camps were large, and still are large, and set near the city, so they became an important part of the city fabric, but they limited the physical growth of the city. The Air Force military camp limits the building heights within the city, and the Army military camp impacts the environment near the camp in Warin Chamrap, both part of the ongoing effects of the military strategy of this area since the Franco-Siamese treaties. Even though the treaties did not specify that France would set up a consulate in Ubon, the French government did. It is said the agreement did state that France had the authority to place consulates in Nan, Karat, which is Nakhon Ratchasima, and other locations in Siam, as the French saw fit. The consulate established in Ubon affected the ethnic makeup of the city because the French consulate had autonomous jurisdiction to permit Vietnamese, Khmer and Laotian people to stay. Therefore, the city saw an influx of foreigners who eventually settled down in Ubon. That, of course, has influenced the social diversity in the city ever since. The Franco-Siamese treaties also brought a new religion to Ubon. At the time, the French missionaries did not want people to see the propagation of Christianity as being connected to French politics. Regardless, the arrival of the missionaries coincided with conflicts between Siam and France, which allowed the missionaries to travel to Ubon without the need for a requirement from the Siamese government. Prior to the arrival of Christianity, religion in Ubon was primarily comprised of Buddhism and spiritual beliefs. The presence of 18 temples among just 1,000 houses in the city is a good evidence that Buddhism was well entrenched in this area. In addition, throughout the year, the locals also observed Isaan traditional festivals, and these celebrations clearly show that the people believed in and respected spirits. These beliefs and its coexistence with Buddhism continue among the local people to this day. Before I continue, I do have to advise you that I cannot guarantee what I have just told you is 100% accurate, but it is what I have learned through reading various historical papers and books on Thailand. I think that is enough of my Thai history for this video, and if you did enjoy it, please give the video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, but better still, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. What more can I tell you about Ubon Ratchathani today? Well, Ubon Ratchathani is best known for its annual Candle Festival. It's held in July to mark the beginning of the rainy season, the retreat for Buddhist monks, and is also called Buddhist Lent. I was once asked if Ubon Ratchathani was a safe place to visit, and of course it is, unless you are an idiot and break any Thai laws. The laws are similar to most countries. It is said that Ubon Ratchathani Province has a population of just under 2 million. And that is about all I have to say for today. Thank goodness, maybe some of you have just said, and hope you have enjoyed my little talk on Ubon Ratchathani. And if you do have any comments or would like any further information, leave me a comment and I shall endeavour to get back to you. I shall start to wrap this video up, but hopefully you continue watching to the end. But once again I ask, if you did enjoy the video, even just a little bit, please give the video a thumbs up, as it does help this channel. Of course, Please share the video. Leave me comments, but as always, if you haven't subscribed, do so now. So, until my next video, please take care, and it is a very goodbye from me. Bye bye.